total adoration to you. You reign on the throne, for you are God and God alone. 'Cause of you, my cloudy days are gone. I can sing to you this song. I just want to say that I love you more than anything. I lift my hands in total adoration to you. You reign on the throne, for you are God and God alone. Because of you, my cloudy days are gone. I can sing to you this song. I just want to say that I love you more than anything. How many love Jesus more than anything on today? I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. Come on, he's going to get the glory anyway. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything.
Welcome, 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 welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Kat Carter, and I am just so excited that you decided to hang out with me tonight because you won't believe who I have in the house tonight. We're going to have an amazing time. I hope that you just sit back and relax and be encouraged. How about that? So, it is the last day of April, isn't it? Is this the last day? And this is the last Friday of the month, so you know what that means, don't you, Cheryl? You know what that means, don't you? Yep, it's our blowout Friday where the giveaway tonight can be up to $50. Ooh, I wonder who's going to win it tonight.
Just say $50.
$50, yes, yes, Ooh. Yes. So, Friday Night Live is a positive platform where we come to inform, innovate, and inspire. So let's do our encouragement corner right quick, and then I'm going to introduce you to Artist of the Week. So our encouragement tonight reads, I am learning that it is one thing to anticipate the best possible outcome and quite another to know exactly what that outcome should be. Yet, what I know with even greater conviction is that I can always dare to hope. I can when my hopes and dreams are from the understanding that God is the one presence and power in all the universe. I accept that God loves and cares for me. I recognize when the accumulation of material things can never truly satisfy the hunger within me. What is becoming clear is that I am hungering to know God, to feel God's presence, to experience unconditional love. So whenever I seem to reach or be reaching out in desperation to someone or something, I know to turn to God within me. God is my hope and the satisfaction that I hunger for, the loving presence that is always waiting for me. Taken from the Daily Word, 365 Days of Love, Inspiration, and Guidance. That was good. That was real good. Sometimes it's just good just to be still when you don't know what. Just be still. You ain't got to be moved on.
Be still?
Just be still. Yes, just be still. Yes.
Well, you know what I like to do, right? I like to keep a piece of steel.
Okay, that's Cheryl in the background you're all listening to. All right, so let me introduce you to my Artist of the Week. Oh, I am just so excited that he is here. All right, his name is Tony Craddock Jr. He is an inspirational jazz saxophonist, composer, songwriter, and owner of the independent music label Cold Front Music LLC. He has released 3 albums with music that has aired on the Weather Channel, Sirius XM Radio, Music Choice, and over 70 smooth jazz stations internationally. He has also been blessed to headline at jazz festivals and clubs, perform the national anthem for the NBA and the WNBA, and share his music at churches throughout the Mid-Atlantic. Tony is a voting member of the Recording Academy and a member of the Washington, D.C. Grammy chapter. He earned his Bachelor's of Science in Atmospheric Science from Cornell University, where he was also initiated into the Alpha chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Tony believes his music is all about honoring the gifts which God has blessed him. He currently lives in Northern Virginia with his beautiful wife and daughter. Please welcome to Friday Night Live, my friend, Tony Craddock Jr. Start it over. Sorry about that. I think we're having a little technical difficulty. Okay, let's try one more time. Let's pull it down. Let's pull it down. Let me bring Tony to the platform, and then we're going to see if we can get this going in a little bit. See if we can figure out what's going on. All right. Hey, Tony.
What's going on, Kat?
Oh, I am just so excited that you are here. I am sorry, I'm not quite sure what is going on. We're having a little technical difficulty, but that's okay. We're still going to have a great time, and we're going to figure it out. What'd you say?
I said we'll improv it. That's what you do in jazz. You improvise.
Yes, and we're good at that. So you know what? I did not know that you were a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated.
Oh yes.
So I am Miss Black and Gold from the Gamma Delta chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha, 1984.
Don't look at me.
No, 1980. I think it was 86, 87. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like,
oh wow.
Yes.
That's too cool. Another connection we have.
Yes. So I am so excited that you are on Friday Night Live. I've been waiting to get you on here for a minute. Yes, sir.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on here. I love your show.
Thank you so much, Tony. Okay, so how long have you been playing the saxophone?
Over 20 years.
Wow. Oh, I'm trying to add. So, like, what age did you start? Like, what age? Like, when did you know exactly that you wanted to play the saxophone?
See, I answered that way because I figured you'd be trying to do some math. I started at 11.
Okay. So, who inspired you to play the saxophone? Do you come from a family of like musicians, or like what happened? Tell me just a little bit. I'm just curious because I'm nosy.
Yeah, ironically, my family isn't overly musical. My dad twinkles on the piano a little bit. My mom has a great voice, even though she doesn't formally sing. But my dad was a jazz lover. So growing up in the household, I always heard jazz. But where it all came together was 8 years old. When I came home from school, I was in the 3rd grade, and I wanted to learn more about weather, about thunderstorms. And I knew the place to go was the Weather Channel. So I tuned into Channel 30 on my local cable and found the local on the 8s, the local forecast segments, and was surprised to find that the same music my dad was playing around the house and in the car was in the background of the local forecast, the smooth jazz. So that's when everything came together. And that was at the age of 8. At the age of 11, 3 years later, I picked up the saxophone. It was a no-brainer. That's the instrument I wanted to play. And I just continued on with it. Kept playing in church over time, in addition to playing in school. But it really didn't take off for me until I went to college.
Okay. So were you in any of the bands? Did you do any of the bands, or you were just kind of on your own, just doing your independent thing?
I was in band at school, in addition to taking some private instruction with different teachers over the years. And one of my private instructors, his name is Rod Malatic. He's a gospel jazz saxophonist here in the Northern Virginia area. He was my first instructor, and he was a pivotal influence because I got to see the blending of his Christian faith with his music. And at the time, he was in his early 20s, so he was pretty relatable. He wasn't that much older than me as a teenager. And that let me know at an early age that, it was possible to become a recording artist because I had access to one, and I could see the blending of my faith. My Christian faith has been a part of my life as long as I can remember. I could see the blending of that with jazz, which I already loved. So I had great early influences that really propelled me to where I'm at right now.
Wow. That's a wonderful story, Tony. Is there anything else you wanted to do or thought you'd be doing besides a saxophonist or an inspirational musician?
Absolutely. I went to college to be a meteorologist. I mentioned that I fell in love with, jazz through the Weather Channel, but my love for weather was being cultivated at the same time. They were going hand in hand. So I applied to Cornell because it was an Ivy League school. I thought I had a chance of getting in, and they were the only ones that offered meteorology or atmospheric science as a program. So I was blessed to get in, chose to go there. But it's funny, even as I was starting to matriculate there, I had a feeling that there was a different calling on my life than being a broadcast meteorologist. But I didn't know, I was wrestling with it and I didn't know what to do about it because all I ever wanted to do was forecast weather on TV.
Right.
And in my mind at that age, I didn't want to be a broken musician because that was what I had seen. That was not what I had seen, but that was, the kind of like the moniker for musicians that you struggle. So I hadn't really figured out a way to bring it all together. And ironically, the single that hopefully we can get to play, Magnetic, is actually about that journey of me wrestling with my purpose of, what am I going to do? Am I going to do this meteorology thing? Am I going to do, there were some other things I considered. How am I going to do music? How does that fit in? And I feel like I'm in a pretty good place now where I understand that my calling is making uplifting music. And I'm at the point where I'm fully embracing that calling. And the magnetic title comes from the belief that there's a magnetic force on all of our lives. I believe that magnetic force in my life, I know it's my Christian faith, the Holy Spirit specifically drawing me to what God has preordained me to do. So once you know the calling, that's half of the battle. Right. The other half is being obedient to it. So I've known my calling for quite some time, but I've been growing in the past few years to become more obedient to that calling. And that's where everything kind of comes together. That's where you find the joy. And that's why the song kind of has a very uplifting, bright kind of spirit, because when you find that calling and you're really being obedient and walking in it, it's just a great feeling.
I always say one of the saddest things is for someone to leave here and not know their purpose or know what their calling is. It's a beautiful thing when you are sensitive to the voice of the Lord and you are able to connect to your purpose and your calling and actually do that, because there are people that are needing that. There are people that they're waiting for that. You have something in you that somebody else needs for their breakthrough or their deliverance. So that's really, really good. All right. So where did you find your inspiration when creating your songs?
So it can happen one of two ways. Either a melody or a beat or rhythm of some sort comes to my head and I compose it on the computer. Even though I play the saxophone, most of my songs actually start on the piano. And then I figure out the melody on the saxophone at some point. So it can either start that way, or I can have God can put a theme of some sort in my spirit, almost always based on something that I'm going through personally. Like I talked about Magnetic, my purpose journey. And then from that theme, I'll compose something that sonically aligns with that. So it's one of those two ways. Either it starts with the music and then I figure out the appropriate theme, or it starts with the theme and I go to the music. One or two ways.
Okay. All right. So tell me something that's on your bucket list. What is something that you'd love to do that you haven't done yet?
Let me think.
Zipline.
So I put out 3 albums as a solo artist, but I really love to tour with quite a few artists. But I'd say at the top of that list, I'd love to tour with Kirk Franklin, gospel legend, like his career needs no explaining. Kim, the R&B singer. Kim,
yes,
huge Kim fan. Lettucey, Alicia Keys, Tori Kelly, artists like that. I'd love to tour. with them. So that's on the bucket list. You mentioned my independent label, Cold Front Music. So right now I'm the only artist on the label, but I do have a vision of bringing on board a handful of other inspirational artists who have a similar vision and managing them and helping them blossom in their careers and, follow their purpose. So I'd like to do that. And then I'd like to do more international travel. It's kind of hard right now with the pandemic, but I haven't had a chance to do too much international travel. So I'd like to hit a few other continents.
Are you taking vocalists? You say you're the only artist on your label. You need some more. Are you taking any new artists, beginners?
Yeah, we can do artist development too. That's part of what the label does or will do. So I don't know how far off in the future that is. I think that's a little bit of a mid to long term goal. But when that time comes around, you and I will have to talk.
Yep. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Okay. So what do you think is the recipe for a great song?
I think it comes down to the melody, specifically the hook of the song. That's why they call it a hook, because it hooks you, the chorus.
Okay.
Or just a very memorable beat, especially like the bass line.
Okay.
I heard it said that specifically like in, soul music or gospel or R&B, the soul is really in the bass line. So I think you either have to have a great melody or hook or really catchy rhythm or bass line, something like that. Something that once you hear it, it just, it's kind of magnetic. It pulls you in.
I did not know that's what hook line meant, that you get hooked. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I learned something on Friday Night Live. All right. Do you only play Christian or inspirational songs? And if you do, why did you choose this genre, or why not?
So I'll address the second question first. So I didn't choose the genre. I feel like it chose me.
Oh, come on now, Tony.
Yeah, it chose me. Again, when you have that calling over your life, you can try to run from it, but especially once you're in Christ, it's gonna pull you back. No matter how much you try to run from it, it's gonna pull you back. Jonah tried to flee. He didn't want to go to Nineveh, but he ended up in the belly of a whale, and got spit out on the island or on the shore. So if you run, God's gonna catch up with you eventually. So yeah, I don't feel like I chose it. It chose me, and I'm just trying to be obedient to the calling. The question about whether I just do Christian or inspirational songs. I think the canvas of inspirational music is wider than just gospel or Christian music. A perfect example, I would say like Stevie Wonder. His music is not gospel, but you can't tell me that that's not inspirational and that the music is not of God. So I feel like my calling is to do whatever is inspirational, and no matter what label society chooses to put on the music.
All right. So did you run? Did you run, Tony, or did you embrace?
I haven't done an all-out sprint in the opposite direction. I'd say it's more like, taking baby steps.
Yeah.
Again, I've always known it, and I've always done inspirational music, so it's never been a matter of running from it completely. But it's a matter of embracing it in its totality, so that God can use me in my full capacity. So yeah, it's not running, but you can not be. You don't necessarily have to be running from something to not fully embrace it.
That's good. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's good. That's real good. Okay. So which one of your songs that you've created or produced that do you like to perform? Do you have a favorite out of your songs?
Yes, Convection. It's the title track off my second album. I don't think there's been a show I've done where I haven't done that song.
Oh, I hope we can play it. I hope we can play it. One of my friends is on here. She's a stamp keeper, and she does live sometimes too. And she said that Facebook has been freezing up today, but we're gonna believe that it's gonna work out. We're gonna play it. Okay. What encouragement or advice would you give to an up and coming, somebody young or somebody that wants to play inspirational music or play the saxophone? What good advice or encouragement could you give them?
I would give the same advice that was given to me. I referenced my my first saxophone instructor, Rob Malatic, he hammered home the importance of practicing your scales. And it sounds so basic, but scales, music is a language. So
Yes.
your scales are essentially, the notes are like your letters of the alphabet. And then once you put together scales, you start to kind of get words. And as you rearrange, once you master those words, then you can start kind of playing with the words. And if you can kind of play around with the scales a little bit, you start getting sentences. And then you build on that and you start getting phrases. And next thing you know, you have a song or you have an idea. So the more sophisticated of an understanding you have of scales and how to manipulate them, particularly in jazz, the more options it gives you. So I think at an early age, I learned the importance of scales. And particularly playing in church, a lot of my improvisation didn't necessarily come in a jazz setting at first. It came in church. And for me, it's like, okay, I hear that this song is in E flat. I know the scale. All I got to do is just play in E flat. And, I can rearrange the notes however I want, maybe throw in a passing tone here or there. But once you know your scales, the sky is the limit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Where can we find and or purchase your music?
Anywhere online. So whether that's Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, anywhere online, you can find it. Also, you can go to my website, www.tonycraddockjr.com, where I actually have them with me, my 3 CDs, H2O, the latest, which I was blessed to do an arrangement of Amazing Grace on it with Kirk Whalum. Also one of my jazz heroes.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
Here's my second album, Convection. I talked about, the title track is my favorite song to perform. And I got a Christmas album for you too, for November and December. And my latest product, which you can also get from my website. Music face mask.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
If you need a face mask, I can hook you up with that too.
It just sure would be nice to have in the Friday Night Live studio an autographed CD cover or something I could put on my wall my wall of fame back there. It just really would be nice. I'm just saying.
You got it.
My
daughter
daughter
tomorrow.
Website up there. All right. So we got it right. TonyCraddockJr.com. Is that correct, Tony?
Yep, that looks right.
Okay, so I'll leave it there for a little bit. All right. Do you have any upcoming events or shows coming up?
I have a live stream that I'll be doing soon to celebrate the release of my new single, Magnetic.
Okay.
So it'll be streaming on Facebook and on YouTube. Don't have a date set yet, but it should be within the next few weeks. And if folks want to visit my Facebook page, just search Tony Craddock Jr., like it, follow. I greatly appreciate that. I'll be posting information about it there.
Okay. I want to try to play one of your videos. I don't think I can do both because we're getting close to the wire. Which one would you want me to play?
We can try Magnetic again.
Okay, try the same one. Okay, let's see if it'll work this time, Tony. We got to it. We got through it.
We made it.
I love your flavor. I call it the flavor. I love your sound. I love sometimes when you listen to artists, they sound this, they start sounding the same, and it's always refreshing to get an artist where they have their own way that they go. You don't sound like the other. I don't know if that makes sense, but you just don't. You have your own flavor, and it sounds really, really good. Yes, it does.
Thank you. I appreciate hearing that. Yeah, definitely trying to hone my own sound while studying, the other greats that have come before me, and even the greats that are out here with me right now. So I really appreciate that.
All right. You all make sure that you give Tony some loves and some likes and some hearts. Encourage him. He's a young man on fire for the Lord, trying to reach people. And he's reaching people with his beautiful music. It's anointed. And so we want to encourage the young people to keep on pressing forward. All right, Tony, would you like to say any final words of encouragement to our viewers?
Yeah, I think it's just along the themes of what we've been kind of talking about with magnetic, that again, we just all have that magnetic force on our life that is pulling us towards our purpose. And, again, when you're walking in your purpose, it's positioning you to empower others, because that's what it's all about. We're not here just for our own sake. We're here to give back and to bless others. So whatever force you feel, or whatever way you feel like God is leading you in your life, just be obedient to that. And if you don't feel that magnetic force in your life, that's okay. It's fine to pause and, stop and figure things out. And I think this last year or so with the pandemic has forced us all to consider, why am I here? What am I doing this day-to-day thing for? So, we just all need to continue to walk in our purpose so that we can make all of our lives better.
Hey, man, Tony, thank you. Thank you so much for that. I'm sure that encouraged somebody. It encouraged me to. It's an encouragement thing. Even when you're trying to walk the straight and narrow, it's always good to get a little encouragement to keep you going. So best wishes to you and your future endeavors and your future projects. And I don't know what's going on today, but that's okay. What we're going to try to do at the end of the show, we're going to end the show with magnetic, if that's okay with you, and try to put that through before we get off. But I would love to have you come back and hang out with me again when you have time. I know your schedule is busy, but when you have time, I would love for you to come and hang out with us again. It was really, really nice to meet you, Tony. I really enjoyed this interview.
Thank you. I accept that invitation back. And you know what? I'll take it a step further. When things get a little safer, I'd like to come out there to visit you in Illinois in person.
Come on, I hear a cat jam too coming. A cat jam too. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sounds like a plan. All right, Tony. Well, you take care, and we'll be talking soon.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. God bless.
All right. God bless. All right. Did you all enjoy that? Tony Craddock Jr. Yes. Beautiful spirit. Beautiful spirit. All right. So let's see. Let's do our trivia. I think Dr. Rodney Alford is going to be up in just a second. So let's. Okie dokie. So our trivia today is, who is this person? Okay. Who is it? All right. I'm going to put the picture up there. And what I want you to do now, pay attention to the instructions. Okay. I want you to put the answer like this. So you're going to put the hashtag and the last name of the person. Okay. The hashtag and the last name of the person. All right. Who is this person? Bet you don't know. Bet you don't know. I know who it is. Sure, you know who it is?
They don't know.
They don't know who it is.
I know it is.
All right. Again, put it in the comments. Hashtag last name. Hashtag last name. All right. We got a $50 gift card up for grabs tonight. I think it's to Tarjay. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yes. We got Dr. Rodney Alford standing by. All right. So let's get him up. Let me tell you all a little bit about Dr. Rodney Alford. I'm so excited that he's here. You know, he is one of our physicians that give us great health discussions. And this month is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So we're going to be discussing that today. All right. All right. They putting the answers in there? They're putting the answers in there. All
Yes,
right.
they are.
All right. So Dr. Alford is a board certified pediatrician and internal medicine specialist that has been practicing medicine for over 35 years. Presently, he practices in the rural community of Central Illinois and serves as the medical director of the local hospice company as well as the medical director for the local prison. He serves as one of the 5 trustees representing 11 counties in Illinois for the Illinois State Medical Society. And as an alternative delegate, he represents Illinois for the American Medical Association as well. He has received many local, state, and national awards as a practicing physician. And in addition to his practice with 3 office locations, he has also started 2 school-based clinics in Kankakee County, Illinois. Please welcome to Friday Night Live, my good friend, Dr. Rodney Alford. Hey, there he is. Hey, Dr. Alford.
Good evening. Good evening.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I am doing wonderful.
Well,
Thank you.
it's just always exciting when you come to hang out with us on Friday Night Live. I know you got some good stuff to always tell us, and so we're just be waiting for you to come. And today we're talking about sexual assault awareness, which is a very serious thing. So yeah, so what's been going on over there in Central Illinois, Dr. Alford?
Well, in Central Illinois, we are doing well. Actually just today was very busy doing a vaccination clinic, COVID vaccination clinic. I am so excited that these clinics are going on all over the United States. This one was at my own personal church. Um, 300 vaccines were available to be given. Unfortunately, we didn't have 300 people to give them to.
Oh,
So we're getting to a point where we're now having a lot of people that are, into the vaccine superstition is what I call it. Uh, they, they don't really want to believe that either COVID is still available to people to get as a disease, or they're just afraid of vaccines because they're afraid for one reason or another. But I'm pushing the word as much as I possibly can. It is a personal thing for me. I have had family members that actually have passed away due to COVID. I've had family members that have been very sick from it. And I've also had a number of patients that have become very sick and passed away. So I know this isn't a COVID talk, but, COVID involves our lives
yeah,
every day. And
yes.
it actually took up a lot of time that I had planned on preparing this talk, but I had a little help. I talked with our state's attorney today, had a good conversation with him just so I can get some local information from him as well. So
Okay.
he would have loved to have been on the call tonight, and he would have shared a Q&A with me had he been in town, but he was actually out of town on vacation, and he just had
Oh,
a conversation with me. So
maybe next time. You can,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
we can do it next time. Yeah. All right. So, Dr. Rodney Alford, so we're going to be talking about sexual assault. What you got for us?
Well, this is National Sexual Assault Awareness Month, or SAM, SAAM. Uh, you wouldn't believe that would be a thing, but it is a thing. And sexual assault awareness is so important, and not just for ladies. A lot of times people think that this is all about women, but it isn't. I mean, there are so many sexual assaults that happen in men, and I wrote down some statistics. So I didn't memorize them, so I have them written down so you can actually hear some of these statistics. You wouldn't believe some of the statistics that are out there. Uh, did you know that 1 out of 5 women in the United States have experienced completed or attempted rape during their lifetime? 1 out of 5. And what I thought was even more interesting was that nearly a quarter, 24.8% of men in the United States experience some form of contact sexual violence in their lifetime. those statistics are staggering.
Yeah,
When we
they are.
hear, I mean, this is a huge public uh, awareness issue, and we aren't aware of these things that are happening nationwide. 81% of women and 43% of men reported experiencing some form of sexual harassment and or assault in their lifetime. 81%. One in three female victims of completed or attempted rape experienced it for the first time between the ages of 11 and 17. One in three. I mean,
You said
this
between
is
11 and
ridiculously
17?
staggering.
You
Uh,
said between 11 and 17?
between 11 and 7, that's one in three female victims of a completed or an attempted rape experienced for the first time between the ages of 11 and 17. It's you just wouldn't believe some of these statistics. One in four male victims of a completed or attempted rape first experienced it between the ages of 11 and 17 as well.
Wow.
It's estimated that 734,630 people were raped, including threatened, attempted, or completed rape in the United States in just 2018. 734,000 people. I mean, these statistics. I mean, they definitely raise an eyebrow. You can't help but be worried when you hear these statistics. They're astounding. 40% of rapes and sexual assaults were reported to police in 2017, but only about 25% were reported to the police in 2018. So our reporting statistics are going down. People are not reporting these incidents as much. They're becoming basically, they're not even thinking about them as sexual events anymore because they're so frequent and they're so often pushed away. The prevalence of false reporting for sexual assault crimes is low. That's I have to repeat that. The prevalence of false reporting for sexual assault crimes is low, between 2% and 10%. So when you're hearing about these issues of sexual assault, they are real. 90% of the time, at the very least, they're real. They're just not people complaining or, what many times is kind of written off as, she wanted to have this happen or he encouraged it or whatever. I mean, you hear about all of these statistics. So I don't want to bore you with statistics, but for me, this was important. I mean, these statistics were important. Let me give you a couple more. And this is information that's available to anybody if you look them up. But because I have a friend that's a state's attorney, he made sure he made all of this information available to me. Said almost 1 in 4 undergraduate women experience sexual assault or misconduct at 33 of the nation's major universities. So if your child or friend or someone is at a major university, 1 in 4 are going to experience a sexual assault or some type of misconduct at 33 of the nation's major universities.
Wow.
About half of female victims of rape reported being raped by an intimate partner and 40% by an acquaintance. So these are people that they know that this is happening to in most cases. Over half of male victims report being raped by an acquaintance and 15% by a stranger. Scary statistics. The estimated lifetime cost of rape is $122,461 per victim. That's the cost of rape. So it's not only just a medical issue, it is an economic issue. It's an issue of huge proportions that I don't think we're very aware of. And that's why we need a national awareness campaign for this. And it's there. It's just that most of us have never even heard of it. Sexual assault is really a serious crime. It's a serious crime. It's really not a crime about sex. People think that it's really about sex. Not at all. It's about power. It's about control. It has nothing to do with sexual desire. Uh, and it's never the victim's fault. No matter how often or you hear this is something that this person, kind of brought on themselves. You hear that all the time. It is never the victim's fault. The victim is never asking to be a victim. And so we need to get away from the thoughts that this is a crime of passion. It's not a crime of passion. There's no passion involved. The only passion involved is a passion for control and power over an individual. And unwanted sexual touching is still sexual assault. It may not necessarily hurt physically, but it hurts emotionally. Or attempting or forcing any sexual act, that's considered sexual assault. Some survivors are unable to really consent to a sexual act for one reason or another. It might be because of their mental state, or it might be because they have an impaired situation because under alcohol or drugs, and many times not an alcohol or drug that they had intended to have themselves. Sometimes that the survivor has developmental disabilities. To abuse those folks is a heinous crime as well. And the abuse can even happen during the exam by a licensed practitioner or a licensed professional. And that person may be a physician, they can be a massage therapist, they can be all types of license, they can be your hairdresser, they can be a licensed individual that actually performs a sexual act or touches in an inappropriate way in that person's life. So, there are so many ways that the sexual inappropriateness becomes a crime. And so we want to make sure that we are aware that these things exist. I don't want to hold long because I want to make sure that there's a little time for questions. But I do have some things that I want to throw out there, particularly on prevention. There's a group called, and you might want to write this down because a lot of information that you can get that I won't be able to share with you tonight, you can get from this group that's called the RAINN. The RAINN is the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. If you want to get in contact with them, they actually have a mobile app, and also you can get in contact with them with RAINN.org. So I encourage everyone on this call to have a look at the information that's there. It's amazing. Like I said, I don't really have to give everything, here tonight. You can read it for yourself. It's amazing the information that's available there. RAINN or RAIN is the largest anti-sexual violence organization in the nation. In the last 26 years, RAIN has helped over 3.5 million survivors and their loved ones as they have to recover through, because of, these issues that occur in their lives, as rape, abuse, or incest. And they operate a national sexual assault hotline as well. And I'm going to give you that hotline number. That number is 1-800-656-HOPE or HOPE. 800-656-HOPE. And it's a hotline. It's a national sexual assault hotline. If you even suspect that there might be some issues of sexual assault in either your family, your friends, or you want to make sure you make that hotline call. That's so important. So get that down and definitely make sure you contact that number if you think that there's a possibility that you yourself or anyone that you know or love, has been a victim. You want to make that phone call. They have all types of programs that are available to prevent sexual violence, to help survivors, and to ensure that the perpetrators, are brought to justice. And that is so important. We want those perpetrators brought to justice. We want them to really be dealt with as severely as possible, because if we don't, this will continue to become a huge national issue, as it already is. Again, I don't want to get into a lot of the statistics, because I told you a lot. It already raises your eyebrow to make you think, I need to look more into this. So do that. Take the time to look into it. It's really important to check this out. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about prevention, particularly because I not only am an internist, I do take care of adults and all of the medical issues that they have, but I also take care of children. I'm a board certified pediatrician as well. And because of that, I wanted to talk a little bit about child prevention. As an adult, I think we can figure out how to prevent ourselves from getting into situations like that, and what to do. We have to, of course, be very assertive, be it male or female. We have to be very assertive and make sure that we assert ourselves when we've been encountering such a situation. But when we're talking about children, it's a little different. We have to teach them. And we do have to talk to our kids about sexual assault. We don't want to talk about those tender issues with little ones, because we don't want them to have their innocence damaged. But we'd much rather, particularly as a parent and now a grandparent, want to make sure that children are aware that those dangers are out there. Not that they're fearful throughout their lives, but so that they be aware of what's out there. You want to make it really a part of that safety conversation that you have with children, that you should have children already. Um, you're already having, other types of informations that you're giving to them. You want to make sure that children understand that they need to speak up, not just about this particular issue, but in general. They need to understand that it's important for them to speak up when they know something, when they hear something. They need to know that they can speak up. They need to know how to pick and choose their friends. And they also need to know how to talk to you about their friends. We also need to teach them how to kind of listen to their gut. If something doesn't quite feel right, it probably isn't right. And they need to know to have that feeling, or learn that feeling, that when they have something in their gut that doesn't seem right, they need to report it to an adult, an adult that they trust. So you want to, you want to find other ways to protect the child from sexual assault. There's really no foolproof way that you can actually protect children from sexual assault. Not foolproof, but there are some steps that you can take in order to reduce the risk as much as possible. And I'm going to go through a couple of those things. Um, First of all, you want to be involved in your child's life. You need to know what's going on in their lives. You need to take some time to just sit down and listen to what's going on in their lives, so that you know that child and they know you and they trust you. You definitely learn to trust a person that you can talk to and that will talk to you. So definitely you want to be involved in their lives. And you want to show some interest in their day-to-day activities, in their day-to-day lives. What did they do that day? Who did they do it with? Where were they when they did it? Simple little things like that. And if that's a regular thing that you're talking about, then the children will feel comfortable talking about it, even when it's an uncomfortable situation, because they're used to talking to you about those things anyway. So when you hear things that sound kind of questionable, you can question a little bit further. So you want to also, like I said, you want to definitely take interest in whatever is going on in their lives. And you want to get to know the people that are in your child's life. You want to know their friends. You want to know their parents, the parents of those friends. Um, you want to know where your child is going to, quote unquote, spend overnight with. It's just very uncomfortable for a parent to do that the first time it's done. But if you feel uncomfortable about it, it's because you should feel uncomfortable about it. And you really should take the time out to know not only the friends, but also the parents of the friends as well. You want to know who the friends of their friends are. You want to know who their teammates are. You want to know who their coaches are. When they're participating in certain events, you want to know who the music teacher is. If they're doing private lessons, you want to know that person and be able to speak with that person on a regular basis and be able to talk to the child about those people that they're in contact with. So you want to talk, about the media and how the media, uh, kind of shows things and how they show things in certain types of light. So they need to understand how to look at the media, whether it's print media or visual media. Either way, they need to understand that things are painted in certain ways, and they need to understand how to read that and how to listen to that. Um, and we want to encourage children, I mentioned before, to just speak up, to be able to say what they're feeling and really speak up when they hear something, when they know something, when they've heard something, when they've seen something. They need to be able to speak up. You want to teach children about boundaries, boundaries for themselves, boundaries with others, so that they don't find themselves abusing someone in a way that they don't want to be. Children need to know that, and sometimes they need to know how to respect others' boundaries as well as having other people respect their boundaries. And they need to be able to talk about that as well. Um, we need to be able to let children know early that they won't get in trouble if they talk about certain things. Many times the perpetrator will tell them, if you tell what's happening, then we will make sure that something bad happens to you, or your parents will get you, or spank you, or do something to harm you if they tell what happened. Children need to understand early that they can talk about anything without getting in trouble, as long as they're doing things properly. But if other people are doing things to them, they need to be able to speak up and speak to you about those things. So you want to be available to children as well. Whenever they're ready to talk, you need to make yourself available to listen. And you need to be able to give that undivided attention to that child. And they need to know that undivided attention is being given. So these are some of the things that I encourage people to do when it comes to trying to prevent these heinous acts of abuse and sexual assault, because it is a major issue. I gave you those statistics. Even when I looked at those statistics, they not only raised my eyebrows, they brought a tear to my eye to know that this is such a huge issue. So I thank you, Kat, for bringing this issue up, for allowing me to talk about it, and for allowing there to be a modem or media to actually discuss these kind of issues, because I know it's a major issue. I didn't really know how much of an issue it was until I looked into it myself. So with that, I'm gonna, give you some time to, if you have some questions from the audience, or if you specifically have some questions. I'm not sure how long you want me to talk. So, me, I can go on. So I really, really want to make sure that I give enough time for any Q&A, because this is a huge issue, and there's so much information out there. There's another organization that I can throw out there that helps when someone has been a victim. And you want to put this down also. That's the clovealliance.org, CLOVE Alliance, ALLIANCE, all one word, .org. That's also that's also another organization that helps with victims of domestic abuse. And of course, there's always Harbor House that's out there as well. So we want to make sure that you have that kind of information, have it available. I just want to give a shout out to a couple of individuals that have helped me with some of this information. That's our state's attorney, Jim Rowe, here in Illinois. I know that you're broadcasting all over, and just giving me just all kinds of information on this issue, and just allowed me to be able to talk to everyone in his office. The other person is Marlo Jones, who is our assistant state's attorney. I had a long conversation with him as well, and he would have liked, I'm sure, been on this call as well. Either one of them could have been here, and they could have answered some of the legal questions
Mm.
if I had been able to get them, off of. Well, he was extremely busy because, again, the state's attorney is on vacation, so the assistant state's attorney has his work plus the work that the work that the state's attorney would be doing because his boss is on vacation. So with that, like I said, if there are some questions that you want to, that you want to throw out there for me, I see that someone put in there a book recommendation, No Secrets,
Mhm.
No Lies, How Black Families Can Heal from Abuse. I love it. I have not read that book. I heard of it. Um, so I think that there are so many things out there written. So yeah, if there are any questions, like I said, if you have some issues, or if you just even if you want to have someone make a statement about it,
Yeah,
I
here's the statement.
I'm here.
Here's the statement as well. I don't see any questions. I think people are probably staggered and shocked a little bit, like I was when you read the statistics. I didn't realize how big it was as far as, and it really surprised me that when I thought of sexual assault, I was thinking woman, but I didn't consider that it could happen to men as well, and then of course the children. So I think you gave us some really good points. Some of these that we probably knew, and some of them we probably didn't know, or that we should be doing, especially with the children. They can't protect themselves. They don't know, So I think these are some really good preventative things that we can do to try to combat that, so that our loved ones are not victim to that type of situation. But no, there are no questions today. I think it's
Well,
just it's just
I
a
see a
sad thing
chat.
that it's just.
I did
Oh.
see a chat, and I'm looking at it right now. I love it. Shirley MBC says we also need to learn to speak with our children when we notice a marked change in their behavior. I love that because that's very true. A lot of times we'll see that a child will have, and not even a child, adults too, will have
Mm.
just a change in their behavior. And you wonder, why are they, so withdrawn, or why are they so afraid of certain types of situations that they might be put in. So you just have to be very aware, not just as a parent, but also as a friend.
Yeah.
This may happen to a friend of yours and may be happening on a regular basis. And you can report these things, and the state's attorney's offices will investigate those situations, even if it's anonymous. So sometimes you just don't want to be that person that they can come back to. Someone else can come back to, and
Mm-hmm.
say that that now I'm going to do something to you because you ratted me out, basically.
Right.
So you can even give anonymous information.
Tips.
Yeah, tips. Definitely, I encourage that as well. And I've given you those phone numbers. Hopefully, you can broadcast those numbers out.
Yes, sir. We actually put the phone numbers and the websites that you gave us. They're actually in the comments, and so
Excellent.
we can get those. Well, I don't think we have any questions. Just a couple of remarks. This is a really touchy, probably this is a really serious touchy. Not that the other ones aren't, but this is a touchy one, and but it needs to be discussed. You don't hear about this. You don't. It's like hush hush. Even like in some families, you got to be shh, what stays, don't say nothing, don't, and it's just a hush hush thing. But we need to start speaking out. If
I'm
it's
glad.
not for us, for the younger generation, the generation coming after us, we need to start speaking out and stop keeping all these secrets and stuff. And,
Yeah,
break
I'm
that
glad you
cycle
brought
of
that
that.
up. Yeah, I'm really so glad you brought that up about these falsehoods that what goes in the family, what goes in the family stays in the family. A lot of these things are coming to light more because people are starting to realize that there's been stuff going on in their families for years and years, uh, and nobody said anything because
Hmm.
it's kept hush hush because it's family. It's Uncle Joe that, oh yeah, he's just like that.
Yeah.
With people, you get this stuff happening over years, people become accepting of it, and they just kind of accept that that's how that person is. But that person is a criminal,
Yeah.
and so we have to treat it as that.
Mhm.
So we definitely want to make sure that we understand how important this issue is and how important it is to make sure we get the word out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm just really humbled to have this platform where we can give this information out to the community, the truth. They can hear truth and, no gray areas, just be real about it, and so we really appreciate you, Dr. Alfred. I know you're very busy with your practice and everything, but you always make time to come and educate us and inform us about important issues that we need to be talking about. So thank you once again, Dr. Alfred. It's always good to see you. Um, and I'll be seeing you again soon. I'm not sure when the next time you're coming up, but we'll be
Well, let
seeing
me
you
know,
real
and
soon.
let me know, and I'll be prepared to speak to you. I do appreciate this opportunity that you give. This is a wonderful venue, and I really do believe that. I'm not sure how many people participate in it, or how many, what your listenership is, but it is so important to have these discussions with your doctor. And I consider myself all of you all doctor. And I'm very happy to give advice, free advice, and in some cases, you hear about free advice is what it's worth. In my case, I believe that the free advice that I give is worth much more than you could ever pay for.
Yes, sir.
So and that's not bragging. That's just the truth.
Yes, sir.
That this information is so important, and so I thank you for having this venue available, Kat. It's a wonderful thing, and I thank your audience because I do see some chats that come up or some things that come up that are very, very intelligent things that so you have a great audience that easily could sit here like I am and talk about these issues. So I appreciate them as well. I see those words that come flashing up and those words of wisdom. I want to just repeat them and take them as my own.
No,
Credit,
no.
take credit for some of the things that they're saying, but I
Yeah,
do appreciate that.
yes.
So, if there are any other things that you want me to talk about, I'm right here for you. But
Okay.
otherwise, I
Thank
can
you
get
so much. Yeah, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much, Dr. Alfred. And again, like, we really appreciate you. We really appreciate you taking time out because I know you're busy. I know that you are, but you have a passion for people to know about how to stay healthy. You have a passion for that. I noticed that when we did the COVID, you have a passion for people to know the truth and to take charge of their health. I mean, I see that, and so I just really appreciate you. Thank you so much again. Have a great weekend, and
thank you.
we'll be there. Everybody's saying, Doctor, thank you, Dr. Alford. They're saying, thank you, Dr. Alford. Um, but we'll see you again soon. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you again.
Yes, sir. All right. You have a good evening, Dr. Alford.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. Okay. I know, guys, that was a kind of a tough one, but it had to be discussed. It's in the community, and I was very surprised at the statistics, as I'm sure you all were as well. So it needs to be addressed. It needs to be discussed. And we can't just keep it quiet. All right. So what we got to do next, Cheryl? Okay. Let's let's go ahead and let's find out who our winner is. Can we do that first? Okay. So we're going to do something a little different. Did you all put the hashtag and the last name? Okay. So put that up. We're going to do something different. And we're going to try something different with our giveaway. All right, Cheryl. Share the screen, honey bunny. You put the name in there already? All right, hit start. Let's see who the winner is. Click it. Hit draw. All right, let's see who it is. Ooh, who's the winner? Slowing down. Cynthia! Thanks. Congratulations, Cynthia. You won tonight. The answer that was President Biden. It sure was. Let me see. Wasn't that pretty cool, Cheryl? This our new giveaway thing. It was? Okay. All right. So here was the question. Well, who is this person? Yep, that's him. So Cynthia, put A, B, or C in the comments. A, B, or C in the comments. All right. And while she's doing that, while we're waiting on Cynthia to tell us which one she wants, A, B, or C, let's go ahead and give our accolades right quick. So we definitely want to thank Tony Craddock Jr. Did you all enjoy him? Wasn't that beautiful? Yes, yes, yes. And we're going to end the show with the other song, and hopefully it'll go through. We want to say thank you to Tony, and also, yes, Dr. Rodney Alford in the house. Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Alford. I don't know if we're going to do shout outs tonight, Cheryl, because we have to let's do our sponsors. I think I saw Ron Rembert on there. You know what?
He is on there.
Dr. Ronald Rembert Jr., he's going to be in the house next week. OMG, I can't wait. My friend's going to be back. We're going to have a good time. He's going to be hanging out with me, I think, for the entire show. You know what? That is Friday before Mother's Day. Ooh! So there's no telling what might be going on that day. All right, so you all stay tuned for that. All right. What'd you say? She picked C? All right, Cynthia, you picked C? All right, let's see. So A was a $25 gift card. B was a $50. C was a $15. All right, Cynthia, congratulations. $15 is coming to your e-box. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right. Let us do this right quick. Introducing national recording artist, saxophonist Ronald Rembert Jr. Music for inspirational music to move you, soothe you, and groove to. Available at Amazon Music, iTunes, and other online platforms. Ronald also has a new designer shoe, the Double Quarter Anointed 1S. This shoe is custom designed and handcrafted in Italy. Once you buy a pair, the custom shoes are manufactured and shipped to you. Style meets comfort with a dose of swag, a street-styled low sneaker with sporty sole. Check out the Double Quarter Anointed 1S shoe and Ronald Rembert Jr. music at anointedsax.com. Stepdads showing up and showing out. Check out this latest book written by inspiring author Dr. Cedric Rice. His book is loaded with tips for navigating the complex world of a blended family. Dr. Rice's goal is to encourage, equip, strengthen, and empower the men and the women who love and adore them to fully embrace the challenges, responsibilities, honor, and blessings associated with being a stepfather. The ultimate challenge as a stepfather is to always show up and show out. God is watching. This book. All right. Okay. Now, Cheryl, you want to say something? Because we're not going to be able to do shout outs because it's kind of late in the hour. So I'll let you say a little something if you want to. And then we're going to end it with Magnetic. We're going to end it with Magnetic with Tony Craddock. Okay, so
all I have to say is the theme song for the week. I don't know if you guys remember this song. This song came out. When did this song came out? I don't even remember when this song came out, but I remember when she performed it on stage. It was a music awards. It's a pop singer, Katy Perry, Roar. Now, if any of you remember that song where she was in the boxing ring, fighting people, fighting for her life, fighting for her self-esteem, fighting for her self-worth, fighting for self-love.
How does it go?
I'm not singing it right now.
Like one verse? We don't know what the word is. Can you do one so we know what you're talking about? One line?
Oh, mama, really?
Please? Like one line.
Like my throat is really just jacked
You
up.
still sound good. Go ahead, Cheryl. Just one line. So I don't know what you're talking about. You gotta know what you're talking about.
I blame you, Ma. I got the eye of the tiger, the fire, dancing through the fire, 'cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar. That song. That has been my theme song all week.
Okay,
So
that's
I'm
the thing.
blessing y'all with that.
All right. So let's end it with Magnetic. I want you guys to have a great weekend and make sure you tune in next week. Dr. Ronald Rembert Jr. is going to be hanging out with me, and we're going to be shouting out to the mothers and having a really good time. Love you guys. All right, so let's end it with Tony.